Welcome to Who's the Champ. My name is Chris Helms, and welcome once again to another great episode of Who's the Champ. This week I have something a little different for you. When we launched Who's the Champ on the WCDB Plus app, I didn't know where this was going to take us, and I didn't know the people that I would meet within the year of having this show. And I met this great gentleman by the name of Professor Bear. And we had a great discussion about wrestling. He put out this thing saying, who wants to come on my show and talk about wrestling? And sure enough, your boy Chris wants to get on there and he wants to talk about wrestling. So I hit him up and I said, "Hey, Professor, I'm down." And come to realize me and him had the same mind, the same old school mindset for wrestling. And we had such a great show, technical difficulties as it happens in the arena, but we had a great show nonetheless. So he told me about this great opportunity that he was doing by bringing this app to the masses, of bringing independent wrestling to the masses, to everyone, just not in your local town, but also all over the world. And so I decided to bring him in, and one of the co-creators of this app. It's the WSN Plus app. So gentlemen, I want to welcome Professor Bear and Michael. Welcome to the show. And Professor Bear, let's go ahead and let's just jump into it. Please tell us what the app actually is.
Well, what it is we had a dream, and well, it started with the founder Brady Owens, and as a kid, he loved wrestling, but back in the days, it was so hard to find wrestling in bunches because wrestling was all over the place. So he dreamed one day that he was going to be able to watch wrestling in one general location. And so he launched WSN, and he brought me aboard, and we started off as a podcast. And then we had a little talk, having, just sitting around as guys sitting around talking about different things. And he was telling about this dream. So he initially launched a podcast. Excuse me, an app. And once that app launched, it was okay, but it just wasn't what he really was dreaming about. So we took it down, and then we brought on Mike. And Mike, being the genius that he is, he we were talking again, and he was like, "Guys, look, we could do something a little better, a little better." So we all working. Then all of a sudden, we got to talking, and like, what is the lifeblood of wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the big companies; it's the independent circuit. It's the
Absolutely.
lifeblood. It makes everything go around. So then we were like, you know what? We are going to make an app based on the lifeblood of wrestling, which is independent wrestling. So
Absolutely.
we then did our thing, and lo and behold, we made something that we thought was just such an amazing thing. And Mike, being again the genius that he is, he's like, "Guys, we're thinking too small. If we want to do this, let's do it worldwide." So then we decided we were going to make our app for independent wrestling. Wrestling is not just a black and white concept, it's so many different styles, and it's all around the world that people put their own spin to it. So we decided we were going to have independent wrestling for everywhere around the world. So we started reaching out to different companies around the world. And lo and behold, we have wrestling for independent wrestling promotions so we can see it around the world. So basically, you can see wrestling in Germany, in France, in um oh God, we had I'm so lost in my thoughts of so many different promotions. We have Ukraine, we have Canada, we have oh goodness. I like I said, I'm so lost. Plus,
Right.
we got that, and then we got to thinking, we want this to be an experience. So then we started adding games, we adding documentaries. We
Okay.
even got in touch with companies that have old footage of wrestling that hadn't been seen in quite a while. So we have that. We want to make an experience for the wrestling fans, for the promoters, for the wrestlers, for everyone, that when you see our app and get on it, you don't want to leave it. You have an experience of a true wrestling fan.
Man, that sounds so great. I love that concept. It's one thing everyone absolutely needs is to get their hands on. But let's, Michael, let's bring you into this. So tell me what got you involved with this project. Professor Bear called you the genius of this app. So what brought you along to this?
I use the word genius very lightly. Bear is being very kind right now. But, so I became a wrestling fan probably around the year 2002. Dead set in the Ruthless Aggression era, right? Fell in love with some of these characters, Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, during that time as well. So I've just always been a lifelong fan, but my mindset has always been, you know, marketing, branding, and giving people an experience with the stuff that they interact with on this. And I came into the Wrestling Society Network probably about 2 years now. And like Bear said, I was just a podcaster, signed up for an open spot that they had on their show for a show called Watch Along, and then ended up doing top 10 videos out of that and also some wrestling news as well. So that's kind of how I got started with WSN. And as the ideas progressed, Brady and Bear were, kind enough to kind of see the drive that I had for this and my love for the wrestling business and came on as president of WSN. It's been a little over a year now, but I think one of the things that I loved the most was during that time, I stumbled upon TNA in the early days. I'm up in Pennsylvania, so Ring of Honor, CZW, those independent shows were very prevalent within my area, so got to witness that and really fell in love with independent wrestling there outside of that. Now, we all became fans through experiences one way or another. Most likely that was probably with WWE at the time. But to be able to know that the independent scene is where wrestlers are able to hone their craft and, get the experience needed to be able to go to that next level. And I think that's what I love about the independent scene is because a lot of these superstars that are in WWE, in AEW right now, in I'll rope New Japan, I'll rope MLW into that too as well. I got to either see, experience, or witness in some capacity on the independent scene, and it's just amazing to see how they have grown and are able to just translate that into the big leagues.
Absolutely. You speak of MLW, and I have a soft spot for MLW, especially it being our hometown promotion. And so many great things. I've had Court here on the show. I've had Bishop Dyer. I have an Austin Aries show coming down the pike. But so many great. I had the chance to meet Arn Anderson, going to their first shows. I love Major League Wrestling and everything they've done and actually putting Charleston back on the map for local wrestling. And Michael, you talked about the ruthless aggression. So every time I think about ruthless aggression, I honestly think since he retired back in December, the debut of John Cena face to face with Kurt Angle, the slap, and said he has a ruthless aggression, and that era was kicked off. And sadly, it was ended back in December. I think there's only one person left from that era, and that's Rey Mysterio, who's now a Hall of Famer. But so tell us what do you look for in an independent show? Does it need to have the bells and whistles, or as I like to call it, as seen on TV? What do you look for in an independent show?
Well, I think it's a new wave. Well, it's twofold. I see it as a new wave of things that wrestling always does. Wrestling always evolves,
Mhm.
and that's what's going on today. But also, it always gives a throwback of yesteryear. And right now, I feel like wrestling is in a great spot because I feel like the it's back almost to the territorial days. There are so many great independent wrestling promotions out there, and they're carving their niche in the area, and it's just great. And I think the best part of it is now with the internet and uh like with us WSN, you have a place where you can follow it and go and learn about all these great promotions. And it's one of those things that it evolves into the next chapter,
Mhm.
and I love it. Especially for people like myself that love going to independent shows, you can actually now get to follow it. Like where some do monthly shows, now they have stories, and they have the internet to be able to continue that story without having TV shows.
Mhm.
So it's great. You get that feel, especially for myself being an older fan, um, and me loving the Southern style of wrestling. I love that I have promotions that do that same experience, and I love it. Plus, I can check out a promotion that's over in the UK and Africa and still get that experience and that that hardcore love that sometimes I think the major promotions miss out on.
So let me ask you this: if there's an independent promoter or owner right now that's watching the show, right here on the WCBD Plus app, or also on YouTube, where how can they be a part of this?
Yeah, so we're open to checking out, any and all independent promotions are welcome to apply. But what we are looking for in the WSN Plus app is, and Bear said it earlier too, we're not just looking to be another streaming app. We're looking to give an experience, to the wrestling fan, to the person that wants to download the WSN Plus app. There's going to be so many elements to the WSN Plus app as well, and one of those things is going to be you'll have your own fast channel or 24/7 live TV guide, which I think sets apart. So there's so many different styles of streaming apps out there that don't really incorporate what we're incorporating into that. So it's going to be a lot easier for people to discover these independent promotions. If they wanted to apply, we're looking for quality promotions. Now, quality promotions does not mean just having the lights and the smoke and the big arenas and everything like that, because I've seen some really good wrestling inside of a school gymnasium, and I've seen some really bad wrestling with lights and smoke and fireworks and everything. So we are really looking for passionate people to grow with us on this. And as of this recording right now, we have 20 promotions signed up worldwide with us, and they're all quality wrestling promotions. and I can go a little bit more in depth on the app later of the functions of that. But one of those things that we were looking for is Bear, Brady, I, all of our podcasters within WSN, like we are passionate about the independent scene, and we want that to show through your product too as well. So you can always just email us. It's bear at, or I'm sorry, pbear at wsnplus.tv. You can email me, Mike V at wsnplus.tv. We have a Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can always just direct message us completely through there too as well. Or you can head over to our website at wsnplus.tv, and there's a form there. They can fill out that form if they would like to be a part of it.
So I got to ask this about wrestling floods. There's a lot of apps out there that floods the area. Is this a subscription based thing like, WWE does ECW, and excuse me, not ECW, but ESPN Unlimited? They were on Peacock. Is this a subscription based or is it free to the masses? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we are looking to, so I'll just announce this here. We're officially going to be launching the app in September.
Okay.
So the app will be live, will be available on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, Google TV. We'll have a mobile device too as well, and then obviously the app as well. We have just finished up the mobile device, and Bear can attest to this too. It's going to be pretty game changing. It's going to have a lot of different elements to it that you won't get on the TV apps. You'll still have all of the WSN Plus content on it too, but there's also going to be a wrestling social network within the app so you can collaborate with other wrestling fans. If you're a promoter, if you're a wrestler looking to get booked, you can interact with them too as well. So we're trying to create this giant ecosphere of just independent wrestling to be able to do it. As far as the app goes, we will have a free app. Now, when I say the words watered down, I just mean that by it's going to be a basic app for the free version, but I mean it basic does not describe, the tone. You'll be able to access all WSN original content, our promotion of the month, some pseudo live channels, and then also I think we'll have one of the WSN games available on there. And then we'll also have two versions of the paid tier. The first version, you get access to everything that I mentioned earlier, the games, the live TV, the promotion portal, I'm sorry, the promotion pages. And then the next tier up would also include any independent promotion that's running a live pay-per-view. Those would be included in that too as well.
That actually was going to be my next question. Are you going to be able to have the ability to do iPay-per-views and everything as well? So I mean that's pretty awesome that y'all can actually do that. You're partnering up. I love this idea. When we launched the WCBD Plus app that we're streaming on right now, I I just love it because everyone's always on the go. Um, you mentioned some of the documentaries, some of the originals. Are y'all able to give out like any names or any ideas that have been done yet that might be on the app, or are y'all keeping that close to the chest right now?
Yeah, no, we actually announced this on a another podcast. We're very, very excited. We have partnered with a media company that had the rights and has graciously given us the streaming rights to be able to stream old school Portland wrestling and then also Southwest Championship wrestling. And then on top of that, they had access to a show called All Star Wrestling, which is a documentary style based on all of these old performers back in their territory days, like Bearhead mentioned. So, I mean, you can see guys like Ric Flair, Rocky Johnson, Andre the Giant, Bruno Sammartino. I mean, so many different old school wrestlers, and they kind of walk through these different paths that they took to get to the championship status level that they're in. I'll let Bear kind of speak on that a little bit more because he's been the one that's been uploading these things like crazy.
Well, the it's so amazing because I think being a old school guy myself, I think it gives a history lesson for the modern fans who may not know the history of wrestling. And you get to learn about wrestlers that you hear about but never got to see. And it's such a great thing. Um, the experience is going to be amazing. And the one thing that Mike touched on that I really want to emphasize is the experience and how you will be able to access this from so many different platforms. And again, we're actively looking for companies that want to be a part of this experience with us because, again, we're not just looking to grow ourselves, we're looking to grow together. This is, I think, a big difference that we are giving companies a platform to grow together because as much as what we're coming with, we can't grow without you, the independent promotions. We can't grow without the fans. And we hope that the love that we have is coming through with this app.
I can tell the love that y'all have for this business. I can I can tell. And especially professional wrestling and independent wrestling, trying to get the masses out there. But my question would be: is these independent companies that you have on the WSN Plus app, are they living up to the hype that y'all are looking for? I guess my question would be: is it living up to your expectations?
Well, I think so. Um, Again, it's the mantra of pro wrestling for me. If you can't have the wrestling that fans get into that take you away from your issues, your problems in life, to have that escape where you can become a kid again and just live in a different world where the villain is doing this and the good guy is coming to set everything right, then for me it's like, then what's the point? It it goes professional wrestling, entertainment, and a great mix.
Mhm.
You have that mix. Again, I think that a lot of great independent wrestling has it, but they don't have the platform to show it. They don't have the budget to show it. Well, we're going to give you that. Now, as Andrade famously said, what you going to do? So we're giving you this to show off your passion, your drive. So let's make it, take advantage of it. For me, that's the thing. Um, it's so much different different levels of this. And funny enough, I think that a lot of people who never seen anything past WWE or AEW, they don't understand that the different levels and where these guys and girls had to go and grind and learn their craft. And you get to go on a journey with so many different people and you get that emotional attachment. So when they make it to the bigger stage, you can say, man, I was there. I saw the evolution. Or even those who don't make it and they're perfectly fine on the indie scene, you can see their journey and why their evolution sometimes it's even bigger than the bigger companies. Again, wrestling is not just a black and white thing. There's so many different colors and roads, and we just happy to give a different place where you can see it. Now, you also mentioned the other apps and different
Mhm.
things. No disrespect to any of them, but this is going to be an an experience where you go on and you can do things you never thought was possible. You get to talk to other fans in different places. You get to talk to wrestlers. You get to even talk to promoters. And again, giving the wrestlers and the promoters different ways of reaching out to get different talent that maybe they couldn't reach. So again, this is going to be an experience for everyone, and we want to include everyone. And this is, as our motto say, come join this society.
So this next question goes to the genius, Michael. How does the app actually work?
Yeah, absolutely. So the structure of the app is pretty much going to be, and like Bear said too, like no disrespect to any other streaming apps out there, but we truly believe that we have the best product that can deliver the optimal experience for the wrestling fan, and that's the emphasis on it. This app was created by wrestling fans for wrestling fans and for independent promotions. So when you go into the app, obviously there'll be your general home screen, but every promotion is basically going to have their own promotion page, which acts as a mini app within inside the app. So if you want to go and see a certain promotion, you can click into their promotion page. They'll have their own design of their headers, their profile picture, their playlist, how they want shows set up, pay-per-views, if they want to highlight certain match types. Then, as I mentioned earlier, something that really sets us apart is our 24/7 live TV guide channel. Each promotion will have their fast channel. There's also going to be podcast channels on there, documentary channels on there, channels that don't necessarily have anything to do with wrestling, but the idea is to have the experience with inside the app too as well. So it acts as another form of digital entertainment for you, just as you were going through Peacock, Hulu, Disney Plus, something like that. Like you want to be able to search through the app and have that experience within there, and that's what that's going to do for that too as well. One of the biggest things that I think is game changing for us is our design of the WSN Arcade, which is a whole bunch of mini games. We're going to have a battle card game in there, and that's another thing for independent promotions to help promote themselves too. So we started off as a podcast WSN, and then we also had our own 2K promotion series on YouTube, which was kind of our claim to fame. We ended up just saying, what would happen if we owned a wrestling promotion, right? Well, obviously we didn't have the funds, we didn't have the contacts at the time, so Bear and Brady and the rest of the team started this 2K series and ended up getting like over 16,000 views, 20,000 views off of worldwide too as well. So as we went into that, when we were designing these games, we were like, well, the battle card games can feature some of those prominent characters that were on our 2K series, but it also gives independent promotions a chance to have their own battle card packs and highlight their independent wrestlers in their promotions too as well. So if you have a favorite indie wrestler in a certain promotion, they could be a card within the game. We also have trivia games. There's a old school 2D ladder match back, beckoning back to the time of the PS2 and Mortal Kombat, the 2D fighting style type thing. So, now it's not 2K level, but we also have a GM mode as well. But it's a very interactive kind of like uh, uh, thing of the word I'm trying to use. You just go back and forth and kind of like draft people and do that, but that's all just monetary there. And then we also have contract wars, stuff like that. So that's going to be available on all the TV apps plus the mobile app. And on the mobile app, you'll be able to play with people around the world from there too as well. So there's so many features that I could go through and tell you. It'd probably take me an hour to explain all of them, but all I gotta say is wait for September. Follow us on all of our socials for updates. Next week, the week of the 27th, we're going to start announcing the independent promotions that have signed with us too. So keep an eye out for that because your favorite indie promotion might be on there too as well.
Gentlemen, we're getting close to the end of the time, but I have to ask, what is y'all's favorite part of the app? What's the one thing you're looking forward to?
Oh goodness. To I guess my most favorite part is the 24/7 channel because I know a lot of wrestling fans like myself, the older fans, when you go to these apps, it's it's not built for necessarily us. It's built for the younger generations, and the 24/7 part of it will be simple. It's easy to use, and you get to discover so many different promotions, podcasts. Even you can sit with family, and maybe they're not necessarily into wrestling. Well, we have channels that we think that people will enjoy, and trying to make it a family experience. So if I have to break it down to one, it's the 24/7 channel.
What about you, Mike? What's going to be your favorite part about the app?
Oh man, Echo Bear, it's so hard, just because there's so many cool elements to it. I think for me, it isn't really one particular thing. I think I'm just excited to be able for independent wrestling promotions to have a home and be able to showcase their great talent, whether that's through the live guide, whether that's through the promotion pages, sharing their pay-per-views on here too as well, coming back and being discovered, right? I think that word of mouth is one of the most underrated marketing tactics in the world today because it still rings true, right? And I feel like if someone's on there and they check out one of our promotions that someone else may not have heard of in either a different country or even here in the States, it's going to be fun to be able to use that social channel, maybe post your favorite moment from it, or, just spread the word around of what great independent wrestling is out there today.
Absolutely. I think the one thing I'm most excited about just talking with y'all is the international flavor to it. It's like, a lot of us get to see, New Japan or, what did TNA call it? Rock King. Um, you got that opportunity to see it on a national level, but you never really see the independence of like, back in the Calgary Stampede days. Yeah, we now can go back and we can look, but during that time, no one knew what it was unless you followed the magazines. And now, y'all pretty much are the video wrestling magazine now, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Now we can see what we all wanted to see. Because I mean, just you go to an independent show now, and like these, I'm at that age now that like these kids are, to see what's on TV, but now they're like, okay, I can make my own path now. I see, like, there's a young man on the circuit right now. His name is Roosevelt Conyers. I'm using him for the first time in August, but like I've watched him go from Victor Andrews, and now he's calling himself like the Lex Luthor of wrestling, and he's wrestling in a suit. How many people besides Curtis Hughes did you ever see wrestle in a suit and Docker shoes? I mean, it's just so many different things, and I love this fact. And like when the idea was brought to me about this, when Bear hit me up, and he was just like, we got a new app, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm here to promote a friend's thing. I'm down for it. But then as I started listening to more of it, I said, this is exactly what we need. Um, Baseball has the minor leagues, the NBA has the summer leagues. Now y'all are independent wrestling where people used to want to watch Mid South. Now they like nowadays, this is the app that our parents, our grandparents wish they had when they were wrestling fans to keep up with so much great wrestling. And I thank you two for doing this because as a huge wrestling fan, my girlfriend might not appreciate y'all doing this because it's like it's more wrestling we're going to watch now.
Hell, don't worry, my wife's the same.
Um, so I appreciate y'all doing this, and it's just like one of these great things, and y'all submitting a legacy right here that a lot of people have been wanting to do, and I know y'all are super excited about it. Are any ideas for a future of adding more things to it, expanding it more?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're always coming up with new ideas. Brady and Bear and myself are constantly working. When we say 24/7 around the clock, that's not an exaggeration. We are continuously looking how we can enhance the experience for the consumer of the app. We have a whole bunch of things planned, over the next couple of years to be able to add things to it, enhance it, and just make it the best experience it can be.
And one thing that we haven't mentioned, and Mike may kill me for saying this on the air, but another thing that sets us apart from other promotions is our non-exclusive deal that we're giving promotions.
Mhm.
We want promotions to use us and to grow, but also have other opportunities elsewhere. So if you have a local station that you broadcast on, we're not trying to stop you. We're just trying to give you another platform to grow with. And I think that definitely separates us from a lot of different companies, to let you know that we truly want you to grow and we want to help you grow. And how many companies can really say that?
Gentlemen, I'm looking forward to all of those myself. I'm so looking forward to seeing independent wrestling and everything that's out there and things that I don't know, because I love the fact, like we've talked about, I love the fact of seeing stars that we've never seen before they get there. Their big break into bigs, and I love bringing the old school mentality back. Michael, Professor Bear, I want to thank you once again for joining us this week on Who's the Champ. You always can find Who's the Champ on the WCBD Plus app and also on YouTube after it airs. Gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us. I got a lot of great shows coming up in the next couple weeks. Please stay by. We're on the WCBD Plus app. And once the WSN Plus app launches, we're going to have these guys back on and we're going to talk more about it, especially to see this description base and just to see how everything comes together. So once again, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you of all. I wouldn't have this show if it wasn't for y'all joining me. So thank y'all once again for tuning in to Who's the Champ. I'll see you next week.
Welcome to the WSN Plus app, where we are more than a streaming service. We're a whole experience. Watch independent wrestling from around the world, discover new promotions through our 24/7 live TV guide, enjoy podcasts, documentaries, and exclusive original programming. Then, test your wrestling knowledge with interactive games built right into the app. With fully customizable promotion pages and new content always being added, WSN Plus is your one-stop destination for independent wrestling. WSN Plus, endless experience, endless wrestling.